Hi, this is Kylie with SSB Firearms. In this video I'm going to be building an AR-15. We have another badass theme. We're doing Spartan, and I'll be splitting this video in 4 different sections, and I hope you guys enjoy. So the first section of the gun you're going to want to start with is your upper receiver, which I have right here. Now because I do have nails and they're long, and as you can see I did try to put some on, but it didn't go very well. But that is your dust cover and your forward assist and your barrel. So I'm just going to start from where you would go now. So after you have your barrel placed on, the first thing you'll want to do next is take your gas block and your gas tube. And you'll see there's a little hole on the top of your barrel, and that's where you're going to want to line up that gas tube and slide that on. Okay, and there'll be a hole in your receiver as well that gas tube needs to slide onto. Okay, and then once you have that on, there will be 2 little screws on the bottom of your gas block that you will take a tiny bit of blue Loctite and Loctite those in. Okay, and then once you have those screws in place, your gas tube and gas block are aligned. We'll then take your handguard, and that is going to slide over the top of your barrel. Right over the top. And there's going to be screws that go right around here that you will screw that onto your receiver. So once you have those screws in, we are choosing to do a rail on our 9 and 3 o'clock on this build so that we can add a couple extra accessories. So we'll go ahead and put those on right now. Okay, so once you have your rails placed on, the next thing we're placing on this build is the muzzle device, and that's going to be placed on the front right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this off. Slide this on, and with the flat side of the ring, slide that on first. I'll take this and screw that on. Okay, once you have that on, your barrel is now complete, and I'm going to move back up into my upper receiver and finish that. So you'll want to take, next is your charging handle, and you'll see there's 2 little notches right here. You'll slide that in, place it in about halfway, and then you're going to take your bolt carrier group, which is this, and with this side facing downwards, place that in, and then push those both in until you hear it click. Okay, you now have your completed upper receiver and your barrel. Okay, so I started putting my grip on, but there is a spring and a pin that go against the safety selector switch, and I didn't put that in yet. So I'm going to pause from my grip and go into my safety real fast and install that. So you'll see this right here, that's where your safety selector will be put in. And these little notches right here, you'll want to face where your spring will be. So you'll put that in, this. And you'll want to flip to the other side. And you'll see there's a screw that you put in, and your other safety switch goes on this side. we'll screw that on. Okay. Once you have that in place, then that should be good, and you can move back into your grip. So I already started my grip because some of them, the plastic is super like tight and it's hard to get on. So I went ahead and started that off camera, but I'm going to go ahead and finish installing the grip with you guys. So I already have my spring in place, and I'm going to take this little pin, and there will be a hole in your receiver that you'll drop that pin into. And then once you have that on, and then you can see my spring right here, you go ahead and take your screwdriver and start to finish that. Okay, and there you have your grip is fully installed. And you want to do a safety check, and mine seems to be working good. So from here, you're going to want to go and place in your magazine catch. We'll go in from your left side, you'll see there's a little slit with the hole, and you're going to place that through right there. Go over to your other side, and you'll take your spring. You'll know which spring to use because it's the biggest one and it's not very bendy. And you'll take your then you will take your magazine release cover and place that over the top. You have to push down on the spring a little bit. So with the cover for the magazine catch, you basically are just going to want to, because sometimes the screws are short, you're just going to want to start to get that on, and then once you get it on, you'll push it out the other side, and you'll see your magazine catch is right here, and you'll just start to spin that until it gets tight enough where you can push out and you can see it's in place. Okay, so the next thing on your receiver you're going to want to place in is your back and your front takedown pins. I'm going to show you how to place in your front takedown pin using this super cool tool that we have. So you want to first go in with the tool and place it in. And you'll take your plunger and place that through the side. Then you're going to have a spring. Drop in there first. Then you'll have a pin that you'll drop in after the spring. And once that's in, you have this really cool tool that you'll take and pop those in. Once you have your pin down, take and flip that up. Then you will put in your you can take out your plunger, then you will take your takedown pin and slide that in. Okay, then take your pin and slide that. Then you'll take your pin and want to push that in as you're pushing out that other tool. And then you should have your takedown pin in place, and it can slide as you can see. Oh, I forgot about this though. Once you get that front takedown pin in, typically you'll move into your back, but I just realized that I didn't put in my bolt release, so I'm going to go ahead and put that in real fast, and then I'll go back to my takedown pin. So for this, you're going to have a spring, a pin, and a screw. So first, there's a little hole in your receiver right there that you'll drop your spring into. Okay, and then take your pin. Okay, and then you will take your bolt release and place that over the top. And then there's going to be a hole on the side right here that you're going to take your screw and place that through. Once you get that through, you'll take Allen key and screw that in. And give that one last screw. And then once you have that in, your release should be placed in. Okay, and then I'm going to go back and go into my back takedown pin. Now it's kind of like a thing you have to do multitasking as you're putting on the buffer tube, so I'm going to go ahead and start that. So first you're going to want to take your buffer tube, this right here, and you're going to want to start screwing that onto your little receiver. Okay, and then once you get that just about to cover this hole right here, you're going to take your spring and pin and drop that in. And you want to hold it down and twist it a little bit more till you cover that pin so it stays down. Okay. Now that you have that on, see there is a little hole right here that you're going to place in your spring and your pin for your back takedown pin. First you're going to go through this hole right here and place in your takedown pin a little bit. And then you will take your pin, drop that in piece. Okay, then take your spring, And put that over. And then from here, I'm going to put your plate over the top. And then take this and start screwing down. And once that's tight, you have your back takedown in place, and as well as your buffer tube and your spring and pin holding that. So the last thing you're going to want to do is take your buffer retaining spring and just slide that in. Some tension, pull it back. And your spring will be held by the pin that is in your receiver. Okay, once that is in, your lower receiver is done, and you can now attach it to your upper. So go ahead and pull out my pins. Okay, and you'll see there is 2 holes in the top receiver. I'll line those up. Okay, so once you have your front and back takedown pin, you'll want to do a function check on the gun. So you're going to want to go ahead and take your magazine, slap that in, turn it this way for you, pull your charging handle back. Okay, and then you'll want to release your bolt right there. Okay, it's fully functioning. There you have your fully functioning badass Spartan themed AR. Stay tuned for more builds this week. Thank you.